This conference will now be recorded.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Gatherings are not possible due to this pandemic, but the spread of COVID-19 did not stop us from spreading knowledge. I am Vasavi Lakshmi from BSc 3 Electronics is here today to give you a brief insight on today's session. Today, on the occasion of National Computer Security Day, Geo Club of St. Anne's Degree College is hosting a webinar on cyber security. I'm extremely privileged to introduce our guest speaker, Mrs. T. Vamshi Mohana Ma'am, Head Department of Computer Science in RBVRR Women's College. Ma'am has completed her MCA, MTech, MBA. Now she's pursuing her PhD. And in her 26 years of teaching experience, she is also a content writer of MBA and authored a book on web programming. She also introduced MSc Data Science in the year 2019 to 2020 and BSc Data Science in the year 2020 to 2021, and also presented 8 papers in national and international seminars. If you have any queries regarding the webinar, there will be a question answer session in the end, but please don't interrupt in between. Now, without further ado, I would like to hand over the session to our resource person, Mrs. Vamshi Mohana ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think it was little, I had a technical issue from my end. I'm extremely sorry about that because until now we were not using the GoToMeeting at all.
No issues,
So
ma'am. No issues.
Yeah.
No issues. We warmly
Being
welcome
online,
you, and we would like to hear from you.
Thank you so much. And thank you really for inviting me for a lecture here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, today being cyber security, I thought it would be interesting if everybody will know about the mobile security. So under your cyber security, I just wanted to get this mobile security, I mean, an insight into it. Let's start the session because we are almost about 20 minutes behind this schedule. I'm so sorry for that. Do I have the permission to share the screen? Because here it shows I can't share.
Vasavi?
I have made you the
Please?
organizer, ma'am, and also the presenter,
Right.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. I will. Yeah, I should go to the applications, right? Yeah, I got it. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can.
I'll just get into the screen mode. Okay. I can off my, yeah. Because this is coming in between. So I thought I will keep into view everyone, or I'll just say whoever is talking. Right. Right. Today I will be talking about the mobile security, and then we will learn about what are these attack vectors on the mobile devices, and then we will do a little review on the mobile analysis. Just let me know if my voice is not clear or my slides are not to be visible. Okay. So shall we begin the session?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. I'm just moving on to the next slide. We'll talk about the mobile security. Now, when we are looking into the mobile security, I think 90% of you today must have logged into the GoToMeeting through your mobile. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here we will, whenever we are on our mobile, it means that we are exposed to so many things, isn't it? We are. So here there is a lot of concern when we start using our mobile through our internet connectivity. So this mobile concept, or the security concept, has gained a lot of importance when they've started introducing this first mobile operating system called Symbian. Have you heard about this operating system called Symbian? Now, most of them are using either Android. If you're on an Apple phone, then you will be using iOS device. Or if you are using a Nokia phone, it is a Windows operating system, isn't it? The security aspects for all the various operating systems are completely different. So we just need to know the basic aspects of how to be secured when you are on the internet connectivity. So that is what is our concern about. Okay, let's move on to what I'm going to cover today. I will be taking you through the security issues that we usually face over the mobile phone, and then we will look into what kind of mobile securities are available and what are the threats and how to deal with it. And I'll give you simple tips in order to be safe while you are using your mobiles on internet connectivity. Okay, now basically I would like to know why do you use your mobile phones? What do we use these mobile phones for? Obviously,
Connect with
we
others.
will make certain
Call.
calls. Yes, just in order to communicate with the others, connect to the others, sending certain messages. You would be sending certain data, maybe important data. Today, I received all the information through my mobile, isn't it? I got the invitation on mobile. I got the meeting link on the mobile. I was trying to communicate with them. You would be sending the images. You would be sending the audio, video, whatever, because earlier in when it was introduced in the early 90s in India, the mobile phones were used for a different cause. It was only to make a simple call, not even to text longer messages. The text messages were also very short messages. We used to call them as SMS, so short message services, isn't it? But now the messages can contain so many things. Are you able to send even the contact details of some person to the other people? Yes. And then whenever we are trying to send these messages, we are trying to merge certain things, an audio, video, and certain other things, and then sending over our mobile phones. That means it is having an immense use and immense importance in our life, isn't it? You have an internet access and you have a mobile phone on your in your hand. You feel so secured these days, isn't it? I'm connected, and then I'm able to share my views. I'm able to receive the entire data, information, the news related ones. I'm up to date, isn't it? With the mobile phones, we feel we are up to date with whatever things that are happening in the world. You're connected completely, isn't it? So here, whenever you're trying to deal with your mobile phones, the most important thing that you need to keep in your mind is all that is residing on your mobile phone is your private data. And unfortunately, a phone can be easily lost, isn't it? You keep it somewhere, you might have forgotten about it, or you just go fetch it again, or somebody flicks it away, or sometimes it is destroyed, maybe for certain reasons. So you need to be totally aware of what can happen if a mobile phone is lost. Yes? Okay. We will just look into what we can do with this. First, before getting on to how do we need to secure ourselves, we will have an insight of how many people are using the mobile phones and how many connections each person is having. I'm sure you might have two mobile phones for you, or maybe your parents are carrying two mobile phones. One maybe for their personal use, another one they are using it for, when they, it is an official phone kind. So here, the statistics tells us on an average, a person is having 1.52 mobile phones per each person. Okay, so here the rate at which the connections are going is very, very high. I'll show you the statistics out here. The entire mobile growth continues through this 2020. I just got the statistics from 2020 October. Just can you imagine the number of people who are connected on the mobile phones? Isn't it incredible? But it is even alarming too. Okay, so we need to be very much aware of what we are trying to share and then how we are going to stay safe while we are connected on the internet. Now, when I'm talking about the security issues on the mobile phone, first and foremost one that I would like to concentrate on is the physical security. You just have to be very, very careful when you're trying to handle your mobile phones, because most of the times we try to store our important passwords, or our whenever you're dealing with financial transactions, maybe so that you will not forget certain pin numbers you might be storing on your mobile phones. You are connected on your email through your mobile phones. You will be storing your data over the mobile phones. When a phone is lost, or it is confiscated for certain reasons, there is a possibility that the entire data that is there on the phone can be exposed, isn't it? So we just have to be always careful. How do we be careful with our phones? The physical security is, you ensure that you are having a very strong password password on your phone. That is, you need to have a certain protection. How many of you are having a password for your mobile phone? I'm sure 80 or 90% of them would have a password protection for your phone or on your phone. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, isn't it? Yeah. And how many of you all are having a pattern that will lock your phone? You don't want your
I
parents
have.
to see your messages or your WhatsApp messages. I'm sure most of you will be having a pattern protection, isn't it? Yes, you want
Yes,
to be?
ma'am.
Yeah, it is because you feel it is for yourself. You feel it is so personal to you. You don't want anybody to view your data. But when you're on internet, mind it, you're exposed. So how to be safe on that is more important to us. Okay. Now, whenever you have a voice over the mobile phone, you know that it can be recorded and it can be used for a different purpose. So here, a voice can never be encrypted. Your data can be encrypted and it can be sent over the phone, like putting a protection for the file, and then you can send it across, isn't it? But when it is a voice, it cannot be encrypted. Okay, so here you just have to be more careful when you are trying to communicate over the voice. Okay, right. So it is little insecure. Now, coming to the SMS, the text SMSs are the plain text over the network. So they are also not considered to be secure, because the way you type it, the same way it is delivered to the other end. Now, have you ever heard about the International Mobile Equipment Identity, IMEI number? Every mobile phone right now, which is the latest technology that you are trying to use, all your Samsung phones, then your the other latest mobiles, every mobile will have an IMEI number. Okay, this is the one which will help us in order to identify where a phone is. It is a unique identifier for each phone. You have your hall ticket numbers, you have your Aadhaar card numbers. Are they unique to yourself? Yes. Two people cannot have one Aadhaar card number, isn't it? That's a unique identifier for a person, like a social security number in the other parts of the world, isn't it? So like that, IMEI number is very unique for one particular phone. When it is lost, with the help of this IME number, we can trace the mobile. Even if they try to remove a SIM, your SIM, and then replace another one, but still there is a possibility in order to trace the mobile phone back. Okay, right. But what if the data has already been stolen? Okay, that we have to have, that we have to deal with it. How do we deal with that? I'll just let you know. Before that, we will just look into what are the different kinds or types of mobile security that we need to be aware of. One is the device security, another one is an application security. Before moving on to it, how many apps do you have on your mobile phones? How many different apps do you have on your mobile phones? You will have one for the payment, isn't it? Your Paytms or some kind of things. You will have a WhatsApp, nowadays Telegram app, isn't it? All these are apps that are very, very useful in our daily lives, isn't it? You will have your email also on that, isn't it? Right? And do you play games on internet? So would you download your applications? Where do you download your applications from? From your Play Store? Do you do that?
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
do that? Yes, isn't it? Yes, yes. So here, how secured are these applications on our mobile? So do we need to consider this? Do we need to consider whenever we are trying to download an application from anywhere? No, we go to a secured site in order to download an application, isn't it? Right. Now, let us look into the mobile device security. I was talking about this, isn't it? All mobile devices, all your phones, tablets, laptops can be secured using or setting up a screen lock. Or we try to have a simple pin, isn't it? A pin which you can remember. It will lock your screen. So this is the physical way that you can secure your system. Okay, all your mobile devices. Now, this one thing is your screen lock. Now, there is something called lockout settings. Okay, after a specific number of unsuccessful locks, sometimes I've entered my pin, I forgot my pin for certain reasons, or I just left the cap locks on and then I started typing my password. And suddenly I realized that I typed in a wrong one. So how many attempts that I can take? I can take about three attempts, isn't it? A max of 3 attempts. So what happens? The device gets logged. You can ensure that, or you can ensure that how many number of unsuccessful unlock attempts can happen on your device. If you try to enforce that on it, so after that number of times that they have attempted to unlock the mobile, it will freeze. The device will be locked. Okay, you need to have a technical support in order to unlock that again. Now, we talk about GPS. Many of our mobile devices have the GPS capabilities. Have you ever observed? Just try to scan your mobile phones and then see. You will be having a GPS. If you enable this particular option, even if the device is physically stolen or you've left it somewhere, you will be able to trace back to your mobile. Have you heard about remote wiping? For instance, a very important data is on my phone and I lost the mobile phone and I'm unable to recover it. So I will have a possibility in order to wipe out all the important data that is there on the mobile phone remotely, so that the others will not be will not have an access to my sensitive data. So some of the mobile devices will allow for the device to be wiped from a remote place. Okay, this can be used only if the device is unrecoverable. and you don't want your data to be exposed, because the sensitive data can have lot of repercussions, isn't it? Right. Let us look into the application controls. Whenever you download an application, it will try to ask you a question. Will you allow it to access your location? Will you allow it to access your photographs, or your the folders on your mobile? We just think twice before we say yes, isn't it? So many of the applications will try to access the user's information. Okay, so you just have to be very, very careful from which source this application is being downloaded. So control should be used in order to limit that the data that the application can have your data access. Okay, you can just restrict the actions that the applications are trying to get hold of. Okay, that is the thing that you have to ensure once. Then let us look into how do we secure when you are trying to download an application. First is sure that the mobile applications are encrypted, and these are basically, when it is encrypted, when you have to encrypt your sensitive data on your, when whatever is stored on your device. How do you do this? You have to make them password protected. Say, suppose, for instance, we are traveling by air, and then I want to show my identity. So it is easier for me to carry my Aadhaar card on my mobile. And if this mobile is lost, they will be getting access to my important and sensitive data like that. So what do? I will try to ensure that I have, ensure that you have logged your important data like that. Okay. So this encryption keys must also be created and stored very securely. Sometimes they get hold of these encryption keys also. Okay. Right. Now, you have to see whether the person who is trying to get into your mobile is authentic. Okay, so this application is a third party who's trying to enter into your mobile, isn't it? So a best practice that I would suggest is go to a authentic place like your Play Store, and then start downloading your applications. Okay, you just have to look into the level of authentication and then start downloading your applications. Right. Now, it is a common thing that we do whenever we visit a hotel or whenever we visit an historical place. We try to take a picture and then we geotag ourselves, isn't it? Say, I am visiting a certain place and I want all my friends to know that I'm at certain place, logging into my mobile, or I want to upload it on my Facebook. The moment I would like to upload my photograph on the Facebook, it will simply ask whether you want to geotag your photograph, isn't it? Basically, it will try to show certain specific information about the picture that you have taken, the place that you are in, so that it is easier for your friend to understand where you are, and a little information about the location that you have logged in from. It's good, but you have to be very safe. Everybody will be able to know where you are. Okay, so geotagging, though it is a commonly used for your photographs to connect, in order to connect to the people, but there is lot of information that is leaked out. So be very careful while you're geotagging it. Have you heard about the application whitelisting? This is a simple device administration practice which is used to prevent the unauthorized application from running. Without your knowledge, maybe an application will start running and then it will try get into your network. Your protected device also will be exposed. So be very careful while you are trying to do this. So you just have to install certain application whitelisting just in order to avoid the unauthorized application running on your mobile device. Okay, it does more harm than anything else. So let's look into the mobile threats. Now, there are three kinds of mobile threats that we need to be very careful of. One is the application-based threat, which the one which I was talking about, and then web-based threats and the network threats. This is not just for your mobiles, but even for your laptops or your systems that are connected on the internet. Okay, right. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Now, whenever we are trying to download the applications that are present, that may be present, that may have certain security issues on the mobile devices, including both the software that are specifically designed to be malicious, as well as the software that can be exploited for your malicious purpose. Now, what happens basically is whenever you're trying to download certain applications, it will come along with certain malicious software too. Okay, and which are very harmful for the device. Okay, sometimes automatically the entire data might be erased. We usually face this most of the time. The contacts vanish, and the moments the contacts vanish, we panic, isn't it? Don't we panic? We do, because nowadays nobody is remembering the phone numbers. And I'm sure your mothers or your grandparents used to have a great memory of remembering the phone numbers, even if it was a 10-digit number. But right now, I'm telling you, except for one or two phone numbers which are commonly used by us, we will remember those, but the others, I'm sure we will not remember them, isn't it? So here, so the contacts are lost, you feel you are completely displaced, isn't it? So the devices are attacked. The device is attacked where the sensitive data is exposed. Okay, so be very careful whenever you're trying to download the application. Along with the applications, you will be ready to download malware, spyware, all the all the malicious software onto your mobile. So think before you download your applications. Okay, right. Now, when we call about web-based threats, here I would like to submit one thing. How many of you upload your photographs on Facebook? I think about 50% of you will upload the photographs on Facebook. And then maybe you might have not liked your photos that were posted maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. We feel now they're really not, so appealing. I would like to delete them. Even if you delete those photographs, do you know they're still available on the web somewhere? It is not completely erased out of the web. So be very careful before you upload it. So because these mobile devices are often constantly connected to the internet. Without the internet connectivity, I will give you a smartphone. I'm sure you will not use it even for an hour. You want the internet connectivity on your mobile devices to access everything on the earth, isn't it? And we access the web in and out the entire day, isn't it? So because we have so many web-based services, the same way we will have lot of threats when we are looking into these web-based services. Okay, now because mobile devices are often constantly connected to the internet and used to access the entire web-based services, and web-based threats we are exposed to it that have historically been a problem for our PCs and also pose issues for our mobile devices. Sometimes we look, my mobile was functioning really well, but after downloading a specific application, the device has become very slow. I'm unable to access certain services on it. That is a denial of service. That is one of the security threat, isn't it? So because the web contains so much of virus. Okay, so be very careful when you are trying to download your applications through your web. Go to a known source. go to a source which is authentic. Okay, because it contains phishing scams, drive downloads, then browser exploits also. Okay, I'm not going in depth of it. I mean, because it will take a little longer time in order to cover all that. Now, coming to the network threats. I mean, of course, whenever you are on the internet, that is nothing but we are on the cellular network. Okay, trying to make a call happens only when you are connected on a cellular network, right? So mobile devices typically support the cellular or your network, as well as all your local wireless networks also. It says right now. It also contains the network exploits and Wi-Fi sniffing. Have you heard about the network exploits? The network exploits is simply your, I mean, because you're connected on the internet, they will just try to check out if there is, I mean, if they can breach into your system, if they can breach into your mobile. If you are having a very weak password, it is easier for them to get into your network, isn't it? That is one kind of an exploit. And there is something called Wi-Fi sniffing. I hope even at your workplace, that is your college or at home, you might be having your Wi-Fi connectivity. The moment you open your Wi-Fi connections on your mobile phone or you're on your laptop, what happens? So many other Wi-Fi connections are visible, which are in the vicinity. Okay, which are in the vicinity. If it is secured, we can't get into it. If it is unsecured, it is easier for you to get into it, isn't it? So people will be waiting for such kind of exposed Wi-Fi connections, so that they can easily get into the system. Okay, that is what is called your Wi-Fi sniffing. Now, I will give you how to stay safe at the end of the session. So I would like to skip this slide. Okay. Now, when I say you have to be secured, how many of you are having a secured password? And do you know what a secured password means? And how many characters, minimum number of characters should be there to be secured, to have a very strong password? Minimum of 8 characters, isn't it? And it should not be all alphabets. It can be a combination of your special characters, numbers, then your alphabets, and then it should be a case sensitive too. So then it will be a then that we consider it to be a strong password. And most of the time, so that we remember very easily, we usually have same passwords all through. I mean, if I have 2 or 3 accounts, it is easier for me to remember one password rather than 2 or 3. So what do? We try to have the same password, isn't it? Please do not do that kind of a mistake. So set a password which is very, very strong, and remember your password, but see to it that the others will not guess your password. Okay. Whenever we are trying to download a mobile security tool or an app, okay, this you need to, I'll just suggest one thing that is called a 360 mobile security, which is very, very common these days. Okay, very, very common these days. You just have to have some tools, not necessarily this tool, but you search on the internet and find out which is suitable to you. Okay, which can help you in order to secure your mobile. Based on that, you can choose your security tool. Okay, right. Now, sometimes we feel, I haven't sent this message to anybody. Is there a problem?
We're extremely sorry,
Okay.
Mamta.
No. I was thinking it might be a problem from my end, Vasavi. Don't worry. So here, most of the time, how do you know that you are attacked? How do you know that somebody has attacked your system? We usually have some kind of an unusual behavior on your phone. I've not sent it, but it is received by my friend. Sometimes I have not sent a message to anybody, but uh, continuous emails were going from my account. So this is where this is where I have to understand and notice that my system has been hacked. The unusual behavior should be every time. It should be noted. Okay. Now, sometimes you will have strange kind of a behavior. When I really want and I'm in need of the system, suddenly the battery is drained out. But if I'm not in using that, the battery is completely charged. Okay, that is an unusual kind of a behavior. And we think that there is a problem with the physical unit of the mobile, but sometimes it is an attack that can happen on your mobile. Okay, so be careful. There are so many things that we can discuss over this, the unusual behaviors on your mobile phones. Okay, now the next topic that I would like to talk about is attack vectors. Have you heard about this attack vector, girls, anytime? This is basically a technique that the hacker uses just to get the access to any of the computing device that is there on the network. Okay, they will try to inject some bad code into the system. We call this as payload. Okay, this vector basically helps the hacker in order to get the access to the system. Okay, these are which are very vulnerable. Okay, many of these attack vectors take advantage of the human element as the weakest point of the system. I've left, see, sometimes what happens, I have continuous classes, so I open my mobile phone, I open my email ID, then I will be working out on my other applications. I'll have an internet connection done. I am on Internet Explorer. So many apps are, so many windows are open, and I'm not observing which window is doing what. Okay, if such kind of a weak point arises, the attack vector, the hacker, will take the advantage of it and can get into the system. So be very careful while you're on web. Right. Now, this is how attacker does. Attack vector works. Okay. So the attack vector will try to look into if there is any system on the internet connectivity which is having a very weak security system. So it will try to gain the control over that phone or your mobile device, and it will straight away attack. That is what is an attack vector does. Okay. Then I'll just list out few mobile actor vector attack vectors. One is a malware. I think most of you are aware of the malicious software, the malware, like your virus, rootkit, application modification can be done. And then even they can do certain modifications on the operating system as well. Okay, the second one is the data exfiltration. That is, the data that is very secure to the organization is being taken over by somebody. It is trying to move move out of the organization. There is a breach where they can get to the access of the data that is residing in the organizational network. Sometimes we usually know it is not downloadable. The data is not downloadable, but I really feel that is very important. What do? We take a screenshot. Don't we do that? Print screen. Okay, this is also a kind of a malicious attack. Okay, that is data exfiltration. And sometimes you put up a USB connector like your pen drives or something, and then you will try to they will try to copy it onto the USB. Sometimes you will be losing that data. If they copy it, it's fine to an extent, but they try to remove entire thing, it is a big loss. Okay, sometimes we try to keep a backup of our important documents at certain place, it might be lost. Okay, so all these come under your data exfiltration. There's something called data tampering, isn't it? That is, the application is, they try to open the application and they tamper with it. They'll try to change the meaning of that entire content. That is, they're doing certain modifications on the data. Okay, so there are certain times where they have tampered the data, but it goes undetected because there are smaller things that they do, but the impact is very high. So these are the ones we call as undetected tamper attempts. And jailbroken devices, that is, forcefully they are trying to enter into your device in order to do some kind of a damage to your data. Okay, the data would be residing, but there is a tampering on that data. But what about the data loss? It is completely opposite of it. They will have the access to your data, they will delete that data from you, or when you lose your device, the data is lost. Okay, so these are the ones which I wanted to talk about. One second. About the actor vectors. I would like to repeat them. So what all things that we have looked into on the mobile attack vectors: malware, data exfiltration, data tampering, and data loss. Okay. Now, when all this happens, what are the consequences of these attack vectors? Obviously, we will try to lose the data, and then there is a bad use of your mobile resources. Somebody gets into it, you know what they can do, isn't it? Yes or no? Right? The worst scenarios can happen when a hacker is attached to another machine or the network. Then the reputation is at stake. Okay, definitely when a hacker is trying to send certain fake. Yes, yes. Am I running out of time?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I'll be finishing another 5 to 10 minutes. I think
No,
I'm
ma'am. It's
almost
okay.
coming to the end of the session. Right. One is the reputation lost, because most of the time it happens. Usually it happens then somebody sends a fake message to your contacts, and then we have to give an explanation saying that no, this was not sent by me, my system was hacked, and then somebody else has sent on my behalf. So that is also comes under your identity theft. Okay, right. So when you call about identity, when we talk about identity theft, your photo is stolen and they try to use your name, your address, your credit card in order to do some kind of malicious things on the internet. Then what happens when a device gets infected? Okay, now each operating system behaves differently. So infecting the device with the mobile spyware is performed differently on different operating systems. Something happens on the, it is infected, it is infecting the Android device, how it basically takes in. The users are tricked in order to download an application, okay, from the market, from a third party application. So sometimes what happens, they behave as though they are very authentic. When you are trying to download an application logo will be the same, and the name of the application will be very similar, except for one or two words here and there they'll try to change. Okay, but we feel that yes, this is the right place where I'm able to download it from. So the person who's trying to attack is, we usually call him as man in the middle attack. Okay, I'll just try to explain how it goes. You must have heard about social engineering attack. This is an attack in order to spoil the reputation of a person, and then trying to gain the access to a very important data, and then it is more like an identity theft too. Okay, so here the remote infection can also be performed through this man in the middle attack, where what it does is it tries to intercept the system and it will try to inject a malware into it. Okay, you are trying to download from an application from one source. So man in the middle will try to attack the system, and in the process he'll try to inject the malware. That is very dangerous, isn't it? It most of the time it happens in the Android phones. They're very I mean prone to these kind of attacks. Okay, when you compare the Android to the iOS, that is your the operating system for your iPhones, infecting the iPhones is physically little difficult, but infecting the device can also be through an exploiting a 0-day. Okay, what does the 0-day is? That is, just before they launch an application, it is a trial based that we try to launch. Just before we do something, we make a trial version. Okay, it is about to be launched. That is, we call it as a 0-day. At that time, before it actually is launched, it is infected at that time, at that moment of time. Okay, that also can happen on your devices. That is how they try to infect your device. Okay, now they most of the time they install certain backdoor activity can happen on your mobile devices. What do? Is they install this backdoor which requires administrator privileges by routing your Android devices and jailbreaking your Apple devices. You can't get a straight entry into the Apple device. You just have to use your backdoor entry in order to get into your Apple devices. So here nowadays it's becoming more secure because there are certain things. The more secure we become, the more malicious attacks are happening. A higher level of malicious attacks are happening. Okay, so detecting them and then trying to protect ourselves is more important. Okay, now this spyware, whatever we are trying, they install. The spyware sends mobile content such as your encrypted emails and messages to the attacker servers to in the plain text. So it is basically the encrypted text also. I mean, it can be deciphered. Because you are computer science students, you will understand what is encryption and decryption. Okay, nowadays you have so many softwares that are inbuilt in the inbuilt where we can easily decipher a text. So you just have to be very careful. Even if it is deciphered, you will not get the actual password. Okay, so the spyware does not directly attack the secured container. So be very careful. What it does is it grabs the data at a point where the user pulls up the data from a secure container in order to read it. At this stage, when the content is decrypted for the user's usage, the spyware will take the control of the content. Are you getting this entire point? What we do is basically we open up a application. Okay, earlier it was not accessible, but after opening it and then the user starts reading it, that is where the spyware will start taking the control of that content, and then either it copies or it sends it to somebody or it uses for some malicious purpose. Okay, then how can a hacker profit from a successful compromise? It is up to him what he wants to do with the data, isn't it? So he can stop us from working normally. That is what is called a denial of service attack. Okay, so he'll try to gain the access to the system and he'll not allow us to do what normally we try to perform on our system. Usually whenever we take a mobile on our into our hand every day, we either make a call, we send a message, or we try to look into the messages that are received, or go to the WhatsApp, or do certain simple things every day. So you are denied to do all this. So the attacker will ensure that you are unable to do your services that are normally done on your mobile phones. Now, it happens even with the websites also. Websites are hacked so that we will not have we will not be able to operate on our website. That is the denial of service. Now, what is DDoS? That is distributed denial of service. That is again a subject in itself. it'll take again another hour to explain about what DOS attacks are. Okay, and maybe sometime later we have a session on that too. Okay, then, and this is how basically I mean the attack happens. Okay, somebody can impersonate themselves to be you. Okay, and then they will have an access to the financial transactions or the details that are there on your mobile. The data can be stolen, and they can have a botnet activity also. Okay, like that. Now, mobile, when we are doing certain analysis on the risk factors that a mobile device, I mean, on a mobile device, I'll just give you 10 uh, topmost risks. Okay, we will just go through it very quickly. One is I mean, it is being listed out by. Have you heard about this Open Web Application Security Project? This is a non-profit charitable organization from a United States of America, which was established on April 21st. Okay, this is an international organization which will try to enforce that the security is intact. Okay, over our mobile phone. So basically, we just have to analyze what can happen over on the mobile phones. One is improper platform usage, insecure data, insecure communication, insecure authentication, insufficient cryptography, insecure authorization, client code quality, code tampering, reverse engineering, extraneous functionality. I mean, these are all the 10 vulnerable classifications on your mobile devices. Okay. Then, how do we secure our mobile devices? I'll just give you a simple 6 steps in order to ensure that you can enforce a certain security on your mobile phones. First and foremost thing I've been telling you throughout my lecture, strong passwords. Okay, you have even the biometrics like your thumb impression or your iris recognition. Okay, strong passwords with it can be coupled with the biometric features, your fingerprints. I mean, together it can be. Okay, ensure that please do not use a Wi-Fi when you are in public. Okay, you don't open up your mobile spot and then without a secured password to your mobile spot. Okay, hotspot, we usually use a hotspot, isn't it? If somebody encounters a hotspot in their vicinity, they will definitely get into the, it's easier to get into the system. So ensure that you do not use the public or a free Wi-Fi connectivity. You must have visited McDonald's and then your Domino's pizzas. Do you have a free Wi-Fi connectivity there? Even when you're going to a airport, there also you have the free Wi-Fi connectivity, but there is a difference. Here, it will be ensured that you are an authentic person in order to get into a Wi-Fi connectivity. So that is a protected Wi-Fi. So identify whichever is protected one, get into it. Okay. Utilize your private networks. Okay. Then virtual private networks. You try to encrypt your device. Ensure the most important data to be encrypted. Install the antivirus application like the one which I've suggested, 360 degrees. Okay. Every time you try to update your mobile with the latest software, if you just look into all these 6 aspects and ensure that you have it in your mind, these 6 steps, I'm sure you are securing yourself on the internet. Okay, you're securing your mobile when you're on the internet. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any
With your
questions?
permission, yes, ma'am. With your permission, we would like to begin the question and answer session, ma'am. I request participant
Sure, you
to
can go
shoot
ahead.
your, yes, ma'am. I request participant to shoot your questions in chat box.
Yeah, should I stop sharing my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how I can stop sharing this screen. Right.
Ma'am, we have a question from our ma'am, Vimla ma'am. She's asking that, do I have to
Yes.
consider any parameters while uninstalling an app, ma'am? I would repeat, do I
Uninstalling an yeah when you're trying to uninstall an app, am I visible? Right.
Yes, ma'am, you're
When
visible.
you're trying to uninstall an app, you don't need to bother much about it, because it'll whatever the data that it has got while it is installing, even that also can be removed first. Okay, it will ask you an option whether you would like to clean up the data when you're trying to uninstall an app. Just see to it that you're cleaning the entire data along with that app. That's it.
And
I hope
also
I'm able to
from,
answer that.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And also another question, ma'am. Uh, she's saying that, good morning, ma'am. Sometimes we forgot our passwords, so we can use an app to save our passwords. It is from Pravina, ma'am.
You have applications on, yeah, you do have applications online in order to secure your passwords, but again, trying to save your passwords online itself is not so secure, isn't it?
Yes,
So we need to think twice before we do that. So you try to remember the passwords. Okay, we have a security key too, isn't it? A question which will lead us to the lead us to our password, isn't it? Based
yes,
on that.
ma'am. I think Pravina got
Definitely,
her
because
answer.
nowadays, yeah, nowadays we are having certain applications in order to store even our sensitive information. Like you people can store your what you can secure your memorandum of marks, your degree certificates, your Aadhaar card details, your passport details, everything. But be sure whether wherever you are securing your all your sensitive data is a secured place. So that is the reason we think twice before we download any kind of an application. Next.
Ma'am, we have other question, ma'am. Ma'am, you said
Sure,
that
sure.
no,
Go ahead.
not to use. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you said that not to use free Wi-Fi, but we don't have that much
Yes.
important information in our mobiles. What is that important information?
If you're not having any important information, it's okay. But what happens out here is they will impersonate themselves as you, and they can do some kind of a malicious attack on your behalf. Is it safe? It's not safe, isn't it? It is easier to breach into your system when you're on a public Wi-Fi. Are you getting my point here? When I'm exposed publicly, my phone is exposed on the public internet, it is easier for the attacker to get into my system because he is also on the same network. Got it? So he might use that particular network or your name, your account, and he might do a malicious attack, okay, on another system or on another person. Maybe he's not accessing your data. Maybe a data that is there on your mobile is not so important for him, but he can impersonate, isn't it? Hope I've answered that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And also we have other two questions, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Recently, my brother's Google account was hacked. Is there a choice of recovery of his account?
Yes, of course. See, whenever we are trying to create a Google account, it will try to ask for an alternate email ID and the phone number too, isn't it? So whenever we say forgot a password or something, the message will immediately either go to your mobile phone or the alternative email ID. And I would like to give you another suggestion. Whenever you are creating this, try to go with a two-way authentication. That is, twice you need to give an authentication in order to get into your Google account. if that two-way authentication is taken, okay, two-step authentication, the PIN would be sent to your mobile number, which is registered while you are trying to create a Gmail account. Without a mobile phone, mobile number, I'm sure you can't create a Gmail account right now. It will definitely ask for a mobile number, isn't it? Yes or no? I think you
Yes,
might
ma'am.
have encountered that. You might have created a Gmail account and then you might have entered your mobile number. So it will be receiving a 4-digit PIN that has to be entered if you are logging in from a new device. Okay. So definitely
Yes,
we can recover.
ma'am, there are other three questions popped up, ma'am. The first one is while using laptop, when we sign up for an website, then any pop-up notification can we save our password. Is it okay if we save the credentials,
Yes.
ma'am?
No. Whenever it says you want to save your password, please deny it. Say never. Say never. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And the
Those
other
pop-up
question is,
applications, you just have to close it when you are using your on internet. Go ahead.
yes, ma'am. And the other question is, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, how we can know that is it a safe application while we are downloading?
Go to a known source. Okay. Go to a known source and then try to browse through and see whenever we are trying to download a video app. Okay. The same kind of video app would be available on your Play Store. Okay. And then the symbol will be the same, but there will be slight change. So before you even download, you search the internet to find out which or what is the source of it. The source of it will lead us to the secured place. Okay. If it is not a secured one, we won't be able to get to the source of the application. He is the person who is middle man in the middle. Okay. He'll act as though it is them and then try to download the application on behalf of the actual one, the secured one. We usually
Yeah,
go with the
ma'am.
Play Store, isn't it? We don't go with the any other one. So just go to a known source in order to download. Whenever you are downloading your, usually you try to download the music, isn't it? The moment you start downloading the music from wherever it is, your phone will be attacked by the virus, isn't it? Most of the time it happens. The application, the moment you download the application, the mobile starts going very slow. Have I answered that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And other question from a principal sister, ma'am. She is saying that can you say a little more about 360 mobile security, ma'am?
Okay. Good morning, sister. And I would like to submit that there was a technical issue from my end, so I had to start little late. Apologies completely for that. I'm sure it will not be repeated again later because this was the
No,
first
it's
time that
okay,
I
ma'am.
was going with the go-to meeting, ma'am. And then I will
It's okay.
talk about,
It's okay,
ma'am,
ma'am.
about,
It's a
yeah.
pleasure that you already spent so much of your time with us. That's great.
Thank you, ma'am. It is my pleasure to be with you all too, madam. This is basically a tool which will try to ensure that our mobile phone is not attacked by the common virus. Common virus usually it is which is a threat to the mobile phones, sister. So here there are so many other apps that are coming up these days. This is one of those tools. See, whenever we would like to if you are using a laptop, sister, if you are trying to enforce a e-scan on it, whenever you insert uh, a, a third party um, into your device, like your pen drive, or you're trying to connect to any other device, maybe from mobile also I would like to connect. So it will first scan that entire thing and then tells us whether it is a secured one or an unsecured. So based on that, we will have to decide whether we will download it or we will stop downloading it. So it ensures us that the common virus will not attack our mobile. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think everyone have their grabbed their essence of this session. Before we end the session, on behalf of St. Anne's Degree College for Women, Mallapur, I, Meghana, from BCom 3 Computers, take the privilege in proposing the vote of thanks today. First and foremost, I thank our resource person, Mrs. Vamshi Mohana ma'am, for gracing us. Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening the knowledge about mobile security and attack vectors and also about mobile analysis. I thank our correspondent sister Shamala and our principal sister Amy for giving us this wonderful support. I extend my gratitude to the Geo Club coordinators and our beloved lecturers for providing us this excellent opportunity. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my fellow Anites for being cheerful participants. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me for this session. Even
Yes.
I am an Anite, but I'm from St. Anne's Medipatnam, an alumnus of
Okay.
St. Anne's Medipatnam.
Okay.
Whenever I see St. Anne's, I really get super excited. I feel it is a homecoming.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. God bless.
thank you, madam.
This conference will now be recorded.